Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. This is Dr. Pam Denton, and this is the Flow Fit podcast. And all you pushing people out there to pay attention now, because today we are talking about what happens to you when push breaks you. And how do you listen to those signals inside of you and switch this into flow? One of the things that I've learned on my journey is that push breaks the body. I was lucky enough to have this higher voice and some support from the outside world that told me to stop pushing myself, criticizing myself, judging myself, or living in a world in which information is being pushed at us and our nervous system has not been taught or entrained to handle the stress. And I learned this at a young age, and I was so hard on myself, and I only knew push dynamics. And as a woman, that was really hard on my body. I would push myself to do things that just broke me. And so my mental health suffered. I was able to look at my depression and say, I don't want to live this way anymore. Luckily, I fell into a couple amazing flow style techniques. One was ski instructing. Skiing, downhill skiing is all based on flow and letting go and feeling the curve and moving and feeling the buoyancy in your body, which is all part of our stress regulation work and our flow fit technique. And then water fitness came to me in some of my darkest moments in college. I learned how to be a water therapist, and water therapy is all about buoyancy and releasing pain and going into the flow. And it's become this whole movement of using the resistance of water to strengthen and mobilize the body so that we can be healthier and happier. Across the board, people are suffering. And even though we have the veneer and the armor up that we're fine, we're okay, we're going to work, we're pushing, we're showing up for meetings, we're going, we're going, we're going, we're going, we're going. All of my speaking and facilitation is showing us through our data and reports that the one word is overwhelm. So I want to talk to you about overwhelm because it is the signal that the system inside of us or in our business is about to break. It's one of those really big signals of pay attention now and pause. There are two parts of our nervous system that have to handle our life. The sympathetic nervous system, which runs up and down the spine in the back, and the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagal nerve pathway that is our rest, digest, take a break, process, and move through. For most people in this world, there's that part of the nervous system that just hasn't been entrained or trained to handle the pressures of life, and we have to pause to get there. The sympathetic nervous system, which is our go mode, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest. And there's this space in between where we can actually learn to get these two pathways to communicate. So nervous system fitness within corporations, within leadership, within well-being initiatives is so important, and it can become a system inside of your business. It can become a system inside of your leadership. That big word overwhelm means that the rest and digest circuit is not working. The parasympathetic, the vagus nerve is not digesting life. When we're stuck in sympathetic dominance, dealing with our business, we become hardened, we become walled up, and that causes these issues in our leadership and in our organizations because even though we look like we're functioning on the inside, our nervous system is saying, take a breath. But how do you breathe into this, right? When we're stuck in sympathetic dominance, go mode, technology mode, input from the outside in, social media mode, people mode, business mode, meeting mode. When we're in that mode on chronic overdrive, it creates chronic stress. It creates a sensation of overwhelm. And what the body's saying is, I need to breathe. I need to mobilize the spine. I need to reset my posture. I need to take a pause and be more present with that rest and digest. And then my go mode becomes that performance that we're looking for in our KPIs. You know, it's like we're looking for key performance indicators, but how do people give you those key performance indicators if they're like this, if they're in sympathetic dominance, or they're like this? Everything goes okay, everything's fine, I'm okay, when really they're not okay underneath. That's what our studies are showing. We've just adapted to the go mode and we've never been taught to rest and digest. And most importantly, we've never been taught to rest and digest in the heat of the moment, that you can actually process through the tension and teach your nervous system and your business's nervous systems to process through the tension while you're doing. So the most important part is the integration of those two nervous systems where they start to communicate. And we have a very specific training protocol so that this system of processing the tension in the heat of the moment, resting and digesting and processing through, becomes an integral part of your business. Meaning, oh, I'm in sympathetic dominance right now. It's showing up as this behavior and personality. And I need to pause, take a break, digest it, and then go back into go mode. How do we do that? And how do we bring it into normal everyday so that we're still performing and doing well in our life? And we have these tools that are part of the systems of business and leadership and employee wellness that shift culture. What happens is when we're stuck in go mode, the nervous system is constantly seeing the world as a threat. It's seeing the world as defense. I need to defend. I need to protect. I need to focus on only this one thing. And so that becomes a behavior and that becomes a personality. And those personalities start to drive leadership. When we're stuck in this sensation, we can't communicate. We can't do anything other than focus on that threat to the nervous system. And like I said, people have developed these patterns over that. So even though they're stuck in sympathetic dominance or tension patterns, they're still feeling like they have to function. So they're creating these functionalities, but really inside, deeper in the layers of the nervous system needs to let go. It needs to take a breath. It needs to be more mobile, more flexible, more adaptable. It needs to be able to flow with the changes of our world at a really fast rate, but it can't when it's in defense or protection mode. And what I noticed in people, this was even before technology. This was before technology, people, that the people had built up sympathetic go mode because that's comes from that industrial age of building into technology. We were all about go, push, drive, because there were no technological connections to make work more efficient and fast. And so people were really stuck in that go mode, and they would get on my table when I was a hands-on practitioner and I would feel their spine and it felt like cement, walled up, tense. There was like no what we call therapeutic pulse, no energy. And then I was thinking, how is this person even surviving? Well, we don't when we're in go mode like that. We barely thrive. We hit a break point, and truly society is at that break point right now. We're in this state of overwhelm where we have to do something now. So if you're with me, there's a science to this, and we can shift the system. We can shift the system. We can shift the systems in our business by making this one choice to pause, to take a moment to pause, to be present, aware, unwind, stress, and engage in a different way. We all want engagement. We need it. We need to engage with technology. We need to engage with AI. We need to engage with our health. We need to engage in relationships with people. We need to communicate. We need to be connected. We need all of these things in the world and in the business world. And we're not going to get there if we're in overwhelm and stuck in sympathetic dominance. In order to get in touch with the nervous system, it's not mindset alone. We process, we talk, we journal, we do leadership training, we do employee training. and we breathe, move, and imagine. Because in order to get rid of the sympathetic, dominant, walled up, stuck energy that sees the world as a threat, that is undermining our businesses and our our world right now, we have to move the body. And the brain and the nervous system has to be able to see, feel, and experience the tension and be taught how to engage in the tension and move through it. Not around it, not over it, not under it, but through it. It's transformation. And it's a missing link in leadership and in employee well being. We need opportunities to feel the tension, breathe into the tension, and learn how that rest and digest can release the tension in the body. Once we've got the rest and digest through the tension, then the sympathetic dominant system that's had people walled up, protected in defense mode, meaning not really here, not really in their body, not really performing. I needed those air quotes, performing. They're not really performing. They're just trying to perform. They're just trying to make it through the day. They're just trying, trying and trying and trying. So we have to teach the body how to rest and digest and then reset that go mode so it's healthy go mode in collaboration with rest and digest. And when the two can start to communicate and work together, that is when we have a healthy business environment. So I truly believe that this starts with leaders making a decision, and you executives out there, you know the amount of meetings, the drive, the pressure of AI, the pressure of technology. You know the chaos in your work environment. You know what people are going through right now because you see it and you're in it every day. And what we know is that your people and you really need right now a resource, a system that integrates into your workplace, not another well being band aid, a system and a strategy that trains people to notice their sympathetic patterns that dominate and keep them walled up, inaccessible, in the stress personalities, and unable to truly perform. And it starts with an executive who's willing to make a decision to say that they're willing to do something different. The most important thing is nervous system training initiatives to help mental health, emotional well being on all levels. And what this will do is radically shift the work environment to be more efficient, where people connect, they collaborate, they contribute again, they start to feel value as part of your organization, your job retention goes up, and the other stuff goes down because people feel good inside of their body when they get out of that sympathetic dominance that's causing tension. And flow state, which is flexible and agile and mobile and communicative and connective and empowered and authentic and real. I want you to feel the realness of what we need in our businesses right now. We don't need another task list. We don't need another meeting. We don't need more pressure. We've got plenty of pressure. We are in a pressure cooker right now. And we have to establish systems for people within organizations to balance out the pressure that's happening in the age of technology. Where does the human exist in the experience of life anymore? It's being taken away, and we can barely respond because we're stuck in sympathetic dominance. Yet technology, I feel, was put on this planet to help us become better performers. But if we can't move with it, if we can't groove with it because we're stuck in go mode, then what is technology really doing for us? It's actually making the human condition even worse. And in some cases, for some people, the minority, it may be making it better. So pushers, push hurts the body. Push leads to overwhelm. Push leads to breakdown. Push leads to mental health issues. Push leads to emotional issues. It's scientific, it's nervous system related, and we need the nervous system to come back online with the speed of life. And the way that we get there is training our minds and bodies to go into the pressure, rest and digest through it, and then experience go mode from a different place, from a different reality. And that's flow state. It's flowing and being mobile and agile and able to handle more. A healthy nervous system can handle more input. It can digest more input. An unhealthy, dysregulated nervous system feels fatigued, tired, overwhelmed, sleepless nights, weight gain, hurting itself, not working out, not moving, not breathing, shallow breath, anxiousness, tension, and then you have to go to work and pretend that everything's okay and leave it at the door. Well, that's not fair. So why aren't we bringing things into business that help us process through the tension? Recognize the tension, be with the tension, brain connects with the tension, breathe through the tension, and then you have a flowing, connective, communicative culture. Nervous system work shifts culture because people are able to connect in ways that is not happening right now. And when we bring this nervous system technology into the workplace, it gives them an opportunity to rest and digest so that they can be better for our organizations and better for their families and their health and their life. A healthy work environment means prosperity. Stay tuned for more. So good to be here, and let's flow.